I'm Sonya with Off Grid with Dave and Sonya. Today we are inside our main home and we are going to make a freeze-dried meal completely out of our freeze-dried foods. Now I know some people are going to be like, why are you making the food when you're at your house and you don't have to do this? Here's the thing. Practice, practice, practice. I know that this is going to take me a lot longer than it would if I were to just go onto my stove or, pop something in the microwave. So, this is good practice for when we are out boondocking or, this crazy weather in Michigan, we get 4 inches of snow yesterday. If we lose power, I'm able to know how to do this without having to stress myself out and, get overly hangry. So let's get started on this. Let's see what we can do. So what I have today is I'm going to be using our portable stove. These things, this one particular runs on a little butane canister. So what you do is you just remove the lid. It's got a little notch. So you open this up and you want to make sure that that notch fits right in here. Turn it like this and so that the notch fits in there. If you don't, no matter how hard you pull this down, that puppy's not doing nothing. When you just turn it, you hear it? There you go. All right. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to get some water boiling. Because water is really the base of a lot of this freeze-dried stuff to bring it back. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to be making some macaroni and cheese and some corn, just regular corn. A really cool thing with this is you can eat this corn like candy, like popcorn. It's really good. Macaroni and cheese is my macaroni and cheese. My kids love this macaroni and cheese. We do have a freeze dryer. We freeze dry our own, so we'll be able to see how this looks when it's all done. But I wanted you to hear that when we put the oxygen absorber in here, I wanted you to hear the vacuum that's on here. Did you hear that? So these little oxygen absorbers that are in here are able to pull all the air out of this and then suck down the lids. So everything that we have freeze dried or we've recanned because the cans are large, should make that sound. So I know when I made this macaroni and cheese, the original weight was 8 ounces. And so after you're done freeze drying it, you subtract the difference in the weight, and that's the amount of water that you have to add back into that. So I know based on this one right here that I need to add 6 ounces of boiling water back into the macaroni and cheese. So I'm going to be ready to remake the macaroni and cheese. I'm just going to dump this into here. If you look at how it looks, see how it's all it's like a powdery, but this will come back and it will look just like macaroni and cheese. And I know that I need 6 ounces of water to bring that back. So 4 ounces, quarter of a cup. And I go just slightly over because of the evaporation we're blowing all this. And then the corn, there's really no magic number for that because if there's too much, you just pour it off. So I'm going to go with, let's say, a cup of water. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to be making some ground hamburger for Sloppy Joe's. Now the stuff that I'm using today came out of this can. I didn't use the whole can though. So what I do, this one is Mountain House ground beef. And so what I do when I do open this is I have to repackage them. So I repackage all mine into canning jars. I was able to put the little oxygen absorber in here. So I know that 2 cups of this, the equivalent of 1 pound of burger. Now, cooking this up, I find that, nothing is going to beat fresh. But when I do this up, if I'm going to do tacos or sloppy joes or anything like that, this is perfect. I mean, this is really great. You can't really tell the difference. This right here, you couldn't reconstitute this and then like make it into burgers. So this was previously cooked and then freeze dried. So basically we're just reheating the hamburger and we're going to use that into a meal. All right, so our water is now boiling. What we're going to do is we're going to measure out 2 cups of the ground burger. One thing you always got to watch when you go to either open up the number 10 cans or your own jars or the Mylar bags is you want to pull these little guys out. All right, water's boiling really good. I'm going to measure out my 2 cups. All right, and it said I needed 2 2/3 cups of water. It's almost like magic. 2/3. All right, all we're gonna do is we're gonna just give this a little stir here. It already smells like ground beef. All right, so we're just gonna let this guy sit here for a minute and we're gonna let him do his thing. In the meantime, let's do the macaroni and cheese. I think this is almost the best part. So on this one, this is the one that I said I already knew what the weight was before and after. So this one said, what was this, 6 ounces? 6 ounces. So half of a cup is 4 ounces, and then 1/4 of a cup is 2 more ounces. All right. This really doesn't look like a whole lot right now. I'm going to stir this up. And we're going to let this sit for a minute. So these little oxygen absorbers that are in here are able to pull all the air out of this and then suck down, they suck down the lids. So everything that we have freeze dried or we've recanned because the cans are large should make that sound. I'll give you another one. Here's the corn, so we'll listen for the corn. And all I do is I take my spoon, I come around to the edge, listen. You hear it? It's like magic. Look at that. There we go. Here's a little trick. These Yeti cups, I'll tell you what, they're the absolute best for trying to save you some time. Conserve some heat. So what I do, because a lot of the stuff will float as soon as you add the water to it, if you add your vegetables or whatever into here, and then you put your lid on top of here like this, when you go to put your water in there, the vegetables are going to try and float up to the top. But with this on here like this, it allows me to pour, pour the water in here. The water goes in through the hole and it doesn't allow any of the vegetables to come up and go over the edge of the cup. So I'm going to just fill this up as full as I can get it, because with this it doesn't matter. I can pour off the extra water. I'm going to let this set for a few minutes though, because I want to keep it warm while I'm doing the other, getting the sauce on the sloppy joe stuff. So we'll just kind of let this guy hang out over here for a second. Take a little peek at the macaroni and cheese. Oh, did you see that steam coming off of there? All right, looks like it's getting close. I'll let that set for a minute. Guys, look at that. Does that not look like regular beef? Let's take a little stir of this. Oh yeah, that came back beautiful. taste. Yeah. Perfect. Now, one of the things I forgot to do. I forgot to add onion and green pepper to this. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw some of my own freeze-dried onions into here, add a little bit of water. It's only going to take a second for it to come back. So you look at these freeze-dried onions. Green peppers. These are actually, I think these were Augustus Farms. See? These, you just add them in there. These you can just, it's crazy. There's nothing on these, just green pepper. I'm just gonna splash a little bit of water in here to bring that back. I'm gonna start the oven, or the little stove here. You guys, this little propane stove, I think they're running like $35 right now on Amazon. And I'll tell you what, I absolutely love these things. The little fuel tanks are like, I think they're like $3.50, or if you buy them, you know, in lots of 4 or 5, I think they're even cheaper. So definitely something nice to have on hand. You know, in a situation you're having a family party, you know, you can bring this right to your counter and you could cook omelets or, you know, whatever. Awesome to have. Cheap and super cheap. They do make them, I saw, they have the dual ones where you can use the 1 pound propane tanks. And then there's another piece you change in there, and then you can do the butane. I really like it. So, all right, looks like these green peppers have come back around. If you look, they're just like a regular, if you were to cut up a fresh green pepper and saute it, that's just what this is going to be like. Again, these will not come back like a fresh, you know, like if you were to crunch on a fresh cut green pepper and it doesn't, but it's beautiful for cooking like this, throwing to spaghetti. I've actually made a, I don't know what you call it, deconstructed stuffed pepper soup using the hamburger, the onions, the green peppers, tomatoes, a little bit of rice, and it cooks up in here in just minutes. We are going to add a can of manwich. You know, this is a meal that's easily, if you got anybody out there that's a hiker, I'll tell you what, my husband's done like the week-long hikes, and he got his buddies in there, they're eating ramen noodles and tuna fish packets, and then my husband breaks out with basically like a gourmet meal for the woods. Alright, get rid of this. The stove, you can already see over here the bubbles. I mean, this thing just cranks out the heat. Alright, we're going to let this sit for a second. Look at this. You see that steam coming off of there? Look at that. Look at that. You guys, would you ever know if that was freeze-dried before I put this in here? How about that? Nice and steamy still, holding its heat. Alright, let's do a little check of our corn. See the steam coming off there? I'll tell you, these Yetis, I love them. Alright, so again, we're going to use the little pour spout that's in here. I'm just going to dump out the extra water. Alright, open this guy back up. I'm going to put a little pat of butter in it. Close it back up. That's it. Look at how beautiful that looks. Now, can you imagine being 6-7 days up in the mountains, you're craving some good food. All right, let's get this plated. I'm going to take a little bit of the corn. Let's check this macaroni and cheese one again. You guys, look at this, look at this. Can you believe that this is macaroni and cheese that's been freeze-dried? All right, and my husband happens to like Hellmann's, so we're gonna throw a little Hellmann's on there. We're gonna close this bad boy up. Look at this, you guys. How's that? Until next time, enjoy.